What a fantastic hit for Buxton Resources and their joint venture partner IGO. Dog's Leg prospect in the Quick Shears joint venture. 178 meters downhole, they hit some 15 meters of sulfide mineralization, averaging about 4.5% nickel, 0.25% copper and a bit of cobalt, with a subinterval of high grades, massive sulfide mineralization running about 5 meters at 7.5% nickel and 0.3% copper, and importantly, 0.25% cobalt. And that cobalt will really add to the economics of this thing. When you look at the 10-year position for IGO through both the East and West Kimberley, this is really a big regional play for them, and they're clearly after the magmatic nickel, copper, cobalt style of mineralization, akin to Nova Bollinger or Voisey's Bay. The discovery at Dog's Leg is 14 kilometers northwest of our tenement boundary and 13 kilometers northwest of the Merlin discovery by Buxton that is only 1 kilometer from our tenement boundary. And the host Ruins Dolerite unit comes flying straight through our tenure, and we're a big gap in that IGO tenure. So we're really sitting on very, very prospective ground that's underexplored. We acquired it from Chalice Mining. Obviously, this was not their prime target after the discovery of Julimar, but prior to Julimar, it was their highest ranked base metals target in the company. It was a product of a selection process in Chalice to identify the best ranked exploration targets for this style of mineralization in the Kimberley, and it really was well researched. Clearly, the 2015 Merlin discovery was right next door. Chalice put the tenement package together with deals with a number of prospectors and previous owners. We now have acquired that 100%. So it really was a top-ranked target for Chalice, but they just didn't have the people or the time or the resources to put towards it post the Julimar discovery. And we were fortunate to pick it up for a mere $1.4 million worth of Stavely shares. We flew the Falcon gravity gradiometer over that project. I'm a very big fan of acquiring those baseline data sets. The resolution of this survey compared to the previous government data sets is immense. And really what it's indicated to us is that there is a mafic magma chamber sitting underneath our tenure. And that's really important in the context of the setting for this style of mineralization. And we would say that the Merlin style of mineralization is on a narrow linking dike between magma chambers, whereas the magma chamber at Voisey's Bay, otherwise known as the Eastern Deeps, contains the bulk of the resource there and has historically plus 100 meter hits of massive sulfide and really has been the backbone of that operation for the past 15 years. So it's given us this conceptual target to the extent that we may be sitting on the more prolific, if you will, magma chamber as opposed to the narrower dike style mineralization. We're only 120 k's northeast of Derby, so the access is quite good, but the temperatures and the access is hampered by the wet season. So really 1st of April typically is beginning of the field season there, where it cools down and the wet has subsided and you've got good access. And so we have a lot of planning to do before we get up there. We're reprocessing all of the previous geophysics that was collected by Chalice. We've got a lot of logistics and planning to do, heritage access agreements. We have most of those in place, by the way, and we'd like to get a few other areas cleared, so we're onto that in terms of organizing it. And so 1st of April, we can get on the ground running. In Victoria, where our Stavely project is, it's very difficult to work in the winter because it's so wet, and really it's intensive farming there. We don't want to be cutting up the fields with vehicles in paddocks when it's so boggy. So the field season there really is up until the end of April, whereas here we start from April and move through those winter months. So it's very complementary in field seasons. The next 6 months for Stavely is very exciting. We've got field programs in Stavely, but then we'll hit the ground running in the Kimberley in April. It's an emerging nickel province. In any other market, there would be a land pegging rush and all the near neighbors would double in value, but that's not this market, but this is as exciting as it comes for new nickel provinces.